Ruto is very good at narratives. Last election, he came with the bottom-up economic model. It has collapsed. He said he'll lift people from bottom to up. Those who own motorbikes will own centers and taxis. Those who own taxis will own matatus. Those who own matatus will own buses.
You believed him? You trusted him?
We believed him. We believed him. It was the greatest fraud in the history of Kenya. Electoral fraud. He called all of us and the people of Kenya Mama Boga, border. He doesn't talk about them anymore because he knows it's trash. He said hustler fund, 500 shillings. What business can you do with 500 shillings? So he knows that nobody will listen to that hustler nonsense. Nobody will listen up to bottom-up economic model. So he has now come up with a new con game of Kenya should be like Singapore. Singapore, the country pursued a radically pro-business, export-oriented strategy. Singapore slashed corporate taxes, guaranteed rule of law, and built investor confidence. So what is William Ruto doing? He's saying we want to be like Singapore. This is what Singapore did. Yeah? Himself, we are struggling businesses. Our importers in Mombasa are strained. The tax regime is oppressive. It kills business. Investors are fleeing Kenya due to corruption and insecurity. In Singapore, they rose to what they became because of rule of law. In Ruto's Kenya, the one he wants to be Singapore, goons are in charge of the country. And he is saying that Kenya can be like Singapore. Singapore became what it is because of rule of law. Here is William Ruto, president of Kenya, saying Kenya will be like Singapore, first world. Singapore became what it is because of rule of law. In Ruto's Kenya, goons are in charge of the police. Who is going to invest in this country? When goons took over Nairobi and other centers, destroyed supermarkets, destroyed factories under police supervision, who in his right mind is going to come and invest in Kenya? Number two, in Singapore, education was made the primary engine of national development. In Kenya, in 3 years, Ruto has destroyed education. The free primary education brought by Mwai Kibaki, destroyed. Secondary school, free primary secondary education brought by who? Destroyed. HELB, a system to fund university education, destroyed. And then he is saying, that Kenya can be like Singapore. Singapore became what it is because education became the primary engine of national development. Here is a man lying to the people of Kenya so that they can be re-elected, that Kenya can be like Singapore. Yet the first thing he has done is the opposite of what Singapore did. Singapore made sure that education is the primary engine of development. William Ruto, who is cheating the people of Kenya, that Kenya can be like Singapore, the first thing he has done in 3 years of his presidency is to destroy the education system irreversibly. And then he's telling people that Kenya can be like Singapore. In Singapore, they had bilingual policy. English for economic competitiveness, mother tongue for identity. Okay? So here in Kenya, William Ruto says when you speak your mother tongue, you are tribal.
Mr. Gashago, we've heard you.
When we are saying we need identity, he says if you speak your mother tongue, you are tribal.
We've heard what Singapore did. We've had the problems that Kenya faces before it gets to
corruption.
Singapore.
Corruption in Singapore. For Singapore to be what it is, corruption was aggressively implemented. And Singapore ranks the top 5 least corrupt countries for decades. Kenya, corruption is rewarded. State House is a crime scene. Bribery is a way of life. Theft of public resources is the in thing, where ministers display opulence. Today I saw some people from central Kenya, parastatal heads, the wider 7-star hotel, taking pictures, having breakfast, display of opulence from proceeds of corruption. Kenya, corruption is part of our life.
Mr. Gashago,
and then Ruto is telling us, he is telling us, Whereas Singapore is where it is